Hi guys, I'm Leah, and last year I had a gastric sleeve in Turkey, and this year I returned back to the same company for plastic surgery. When it didn't go to plan, I spoke out about it. I had so much support from the weight loss community that I want to give people a space where they can share their stories. I want this podcast to be as balanced as possible, to share the risks of these surgeries, as well as how amazing they can be and how much they can also change your life. It's also going to be mental health related. We're going to cover ADHD too, as I got diagnosed at the age of 26. My first guest on the podcast is actually my sister Kelly, so let's just get straight into it. So growing up, what was I like?
Especially if I suffered with your mental health, which was always a big issue.
I would lean to food to feel better. Our mum just send me to the shop and I'd get chocolate crisps, food that's not nutritional. I used food as a reward as well. I'm going to treat myself.
Basically, everything was just revolved around food. But I remember one night, we was on a girly night, and you literally had like a massive pizza to yourself.
Yeah.
And then you had like 6 pancakes or something straight after.
It was 8. 8 pancakes, chocolate spread as well. I needed that physical barrier. I've been on diets my whole life, like trying to lose weight. And I have lost weight before naturally. But once I got pregnant and had my daughter, I got to 25 stone. And I think when I got to that weight, the only way I could have done it was weight loss surgery.
I don't really see you like that. Wasn't my sister? Wasn't bubbly. I'd lost you for quite a while. Glad to have you back again because you're you.
Was surviving, not living. Obviously, my sister's known me my whole life. I'm crazy, aren't I? I'm silly. I wasn't when I was at my biggest. I was paranoid about eating in public because people would look at me and think, well, look at that fat bitch. That's what goes through your mind. You go places and you're literally looking at chairs and you're analysing, can I fit in that? It's also weird because when I was at my biggest, I don't think I saw how big I really was. Now that I look back at the photos, I'm like, whoa. Do you remember one of my favourite sayings when I was 25 stone? I'm fat and shattered.
Fat shattered.
I think when you're at that size, you make jokes of yourself because I'm like, well, if I don't do it, other people are going to do it.
I think you just made it a joke so it didn't upset you so much.
Yeah.
And that's how we went to Scotland and broke.
Let's get into the embarrassing things that happened to me at my biggest. So we went to Scotland, me and my partner on a double bed, and I think I sort of jumped down onto it. It collapsed. And then Dan lifted the mattress up to see what the situation was. It's a 5-foot bed. She was like, Dan, I'm so fat, I broke the bed. Literally. The bed collapsed more than once as well. It collapsed a couple of times and I was like, it's a dodgy bed. It must have been bent already. But now I look back and I think maybe it wasn't. What if it was just like me just going for that? I think I just completely broke it. I'm not fat. I broke the bed. I've actually broke a toilet seat at work once. I was in the toilet, leant forward, and then I heard a big crack. And I literally was like, oh, shit. And I went up to the nurse in charge and was like, oh, just so you know, I just went to the toilet and the seat's broken in there, so be really careful because it might pinch you. I played it off that it wasn't me, but she probably took one look at me and thought, yeah, you broke it.
Broke a bed, I broke a toilet seat.
I think I've probably broken quite a few things. Sleep problems.
Bubbles, darling, bubbles.
So when I was at my biggest, I took it as an offence. If comments were made, I'd be like, oh, you're calling me fat.
Get very personal.
Yeah, but it was coming from a place of concern. Dan, it was very much, he was worried that I was going to end up having a heart attack. He never once called me fat. Throughout our whole relationship, it's coming up to 6 years now, he's treated me the same the whole way through. He did start to say, Leah, like, I'm really worried about you. I felt disgusting. Thought, well, I look horrible. So he must think that. Realised it was just all in my head because of the way I felt about myself. People must think that about me as well. My heart rate, I'd walk up the stairs and it would literally be like,
silly, your knees were hurting.
Yeah, I was in so much pain. I knew at that point I wasn't going to be here much longer if I didn't do something about my weight. See the horror stories and you think, what if something goes wrong? At the same time, it's like, well, if I don't act on it, it's a no-brainer. It's either I carry on the way I'm going, I eat myself to death, or I take that risk of a 25-minute procedure and completely change my life.
The best thing that you've ever done. Got my sister back.
Yay! I can be crazy Leah again. When I first told you about having a gastric sleeve, did anything cross your mind or you just sort of went with it?
I didn't even know what it was for starters. I was like, what is the sleeve?
A lot of people assume because of the name sleeve that it's like a gastric band.
I was like, what's the difference between a band and sleeve?
A lot of people think gastric band and sleeve are the same thing, but they're not. 85% of my stomach is gone and it will never come back. And stretch it if you're constantly overeating, but I personally can't overeat.
When we go food shopping now, you'll pick something up and then you put it straight back, whereas before you'd be like, I'll have this, I'll have that.
It's because I've worked on the mental side though. In the beginning of my sleeve, I still try to eat like I did before. Unless you sort the mental side out, you're going to repeat the patterns. But the beauty of the sleeve is there's that physical thing there to say, no, you need to stop eating. It feels like really bad indigestion. My eyes start watering. Sometimes my nose runs. I'll get hiccups. So I just know when to stop. Before my sleeve, there was no stopping.
I have to put up with this all the time now.
To be fair, I have never been the most modest person anyway. Neither are you. There's the stinkiest parts of my skin of the trash. If you'd like to be a guest on my podcast, send me a DM and then I can email you over the apps that you'll need to download. All of that bejazzle.
I was going to say bejazzle, yes.
All of that bejazzle, I'll send it over.